p.m.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I am Abosede Adenewa-Duremi, standing in for Nifemi Oguntoye. Today, across the world, Christian faithful are commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, marked with solemnity, festivity, and giving and caring. And messages are pouring in from different quarters. Here in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to embrace peace, unity, and religious tolerance as Christians across the country and around the world celebrate Christmas. In his 2025 Christmas goodwill message, the president congratulated Christians and prayed that the season would renew hope, love, and goodwill among Nigerians. President Tinubu reaffirmed his commitment to safeguarding religious freedom and ensuring that Nigerians of all faiths are protected from violence and discrimination. Also in line with the season, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in her Christmas message to the nation, asked Nigerians to celebrate Christmas with hope beyond the season. The First Lady encouraged Nigerians to remember the values of love, compassion, kindness, and generosity which unite the nation, adding that it is a time to count the nation's blessings and to extend a helping hand to the needy. Wishing Nigerians Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Senator Oluremi Tinubu appealed to the citizens to continue to pray for peace and the safety of Christians, Muslims, and adherents to other faiths in the country. And that's not all. Bishop of Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Most Reverend Matthew Kuka, has called on Nigerians to be hopeful and believe that the nation can overcome its many challenges, while advising Nigerians to emulate the life of Christ, who never encouraged violence as response to violence. The bishop, in his Christmas message, said Nigeria cannot outsource solutions to its challenges, but rather be united in confronting the challenges without discriminating on whatever basis. He maintained that Christ remains the cornerstone of Christian faith, urging believers to push on despite temptations.
We Christians have never backed down from persecution. That is, if we see persecution as doing right and having to pay the price for doing right. Doing right and paying the price for doing right. That is what the story of Maccabees was all about. The need for Christians to understand. And that is why we have a cross. Not because we invite persecution, but because the Lord himself has taught us. On the 28th of December, we celebrate what feast? The Feast of the Holy Innocents.
For Christians generally, I want us to remember that the birth of Christ Jesus, like I said earlier, it was celebrating. But the celebration should not be human, as in outward. It should be spiritual, because you can see in the course of celebrating Christ's birth, which is tomorrow, you discover that many people have done so many things. Somebody call it dirty Christmas. It's not supposed to be dirty Christmas. It's supposed to be Christmas of reflection.
Christmas for me is a time of joy, a time of reconciliation with families, and Christmas, Christ being celebrated today, it means peace. And for us, it's time for peace. Peace, we pray for peace in our country, peace in everything, peace in our homes, because everything starts from homes. We pray that God will give us peace in our country.
And in a sad twist, 5 persons have been confirmed killed and 35 injured after Wednesday night's blast at Gamburu Market Mosque in Maiduguri, Borno State. Police Public Relations Officer, Borno State Command, Nahum Dasso, revealed this to journalists at the specialist hospital in Maiduguri, where victims are being treated. The blast occurred at about 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve, at a time when faithful were gathered for prayers in the mosque there. And eyewitnesses narrated the ordeal to our correspondent, Jesse Tafida.
Muna nan kasuwar kamar arawun magariba an tada sallan farko na biyu sai muka ji abin ya amsa wanda inda gaba da hankali ya riga ya faɗi ubangiji Allah ya dafa mana abin ya fi ƙarfinmu wallahi ban zo na shiga Mosque ba amma dai na ji an ce mutane sun jikata wayansu sun ji ciwo
sai dai Allah ya kiyaye
ne ba ƙarami ba
wallahi ba ƙarami ba wallahi ina cikin kasuwan na fito na alwala a nan muna leburanci a wajen muna alwala a nan kafin shiga abin ya faru shiga masallacin ne Allah ya kiyaye abin ya zo ya faru.
Tonight on the program, we'll be taking a look at some of the messages that have come in for this commemoration of Christmas, as well as putting into perspective the incident in Gamboro Market, Maiduguri, Borno State on Christmas Eve, which left 5 people dead and 35 others injured. My guest tonight, we're expecting Dr. Samuel Adebayo, who is a leadership coach. But at the moment, I have a public affairs analyst, Dr. Yusuf Harun, join me on the program. Dr. Harun, good to have you join us, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, Dr. Harun. I would like us to start this on, well, I would really like us to talk about Christmas, but it's quite sad what happened last night in Maiduguri. That bomb blast, at a mosque there, 5 people already confirmed dead, 35 other people fighting for their life in hospital. What do you make of this incident? Because it just appears as though every year, we get to hear about this. Last year, it was on Plateau State, and this time it's in Borno State. What do you make of this development?
Firstly, I commiserate with the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because some people are trying to frustrate his government, and they are trying to make it look as if his administration is unstable and trying to incite religious violence so that there could be external interference in our polity. What happened yesterday was sad, and when I heard the news, I felt very sad about it, about the killings when Muslims were about to pray, and it's also happening an eve to this festive season where Christians all over the world are celebrating. I recommend that the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces should exert the full weight of the law. In this position, I agree with what former President Olusegun Obasanjo did in OD. Some people might think it is rash, but I think the President should go in and eliminate these terrorists or these bandits, including those who are sponsoring, because they want to make his administration ungovernable. That is what they are doing. I recommend strongly that the President, after being political, after negotiating with them, and they are still trying to cause terror in the country, cause civil unrest, the President should command the armed forces, the Minister of Defense. They should go out and wipe out all the terrorists, and also those who are sponsoring him, including some politicians who are sponsoring this violence in Nigeria.
Dr.
Some
Harun,
are in this country and some are outside this country.
I hear you, Dr. Harun. If you can hear me, please. I understand what you were saying, but you also know that, over time, this matter has somewhat divided the populace, with some people calling for negotiation, calling for the carrot approach to this, talking about the non-kinetic approach, which we've also seen some service chiefs, in the past support, because they do think that, these are people who can return to the society, and we've seen some of them go through the whole reconciliation process and, being, reunited with the community. How do you think this will be, perceived, considering the resistance coming from, some sub-national leaders?
This has been existing for over 15 years, right from the presidency of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, down to President Muhammad Buhari, and now to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have tried to negotiate with these people repeatedly. Many of them have been rehabilitated. Some of them have even been sent to schools. They have been given clemency, but it seems it's not working. Excessive clemency to these people just makes them feel that they can go beyond the law. They can be above the law and they can do anything. Look at some bandits in Zamfara who were whining and dining with some politicians. Look at in Borno, there has been allegations of some politicians who have been sponsoring these so-called Boko Haram terrorists. Some of them are even ignorant people. There has even been allegations that some of them are not even Nigerians. They are coming from neighboring countries like Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. I think the president has given enough time. This is 2 years in his administration, going to 3. He has negotiated with them. He has been very clement. The president is too democratic. He is being very magnanimous and is following the rule of law. But in excessive cases like this, where there is terrorism, where there is bombing, where there is killing, then the president has to let these terrorists know that Nigeria as a country is above any individual.
All right, Dr. Harun, we need to... Yes, I hear you. We need to take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation from there. Stay with us, everyone.
I write to request the kind approval of the National Assembly.
Behind every decision, every vote,
the ayes have it,
and every heated debate lies the heartbeat of democracy.
This matter is very, very important.
I therefore rule you out of order.
Welcome to the place where it all unfolds. Every week, I take you inside the inner workings of the assembly, where laws are shaped, decisions are made, and the future of the nation is decided.
The ayes have it.
Join me, Tijesu Adeoye, and other seasoned experts, analysts, and lawmakers at the National Assembly as they uncover the real stories behind the headlines and offer unfiltered insight on the most pressing issues of the day. This is your front row seat to the heart of power. Watch the Hallowed Chambers every Saturday at 9 p.m. only on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us on the program, everyone. Today we are talking about development happenings in the country, especially on the heels of that incident, the bomb blast in Gamburu, Maiduguri, Borno State on Christmas Eve. That in line with the messages coming from different stakeholders, even as Christians the world over celebrate Christmas. I've been speaking with Dr. Yusuf Harun, a public affairs analyst, and now also we're being joined by Dr. Samuel Adebayo, who is a leadership coach. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Let me come to you now, Dr. Adebayo. You know, just before you joined, Dr. Harun and I were talking about the incident in Borno State yesterday, and you know how sad it is happening on the eve of a day for festivities and celebration. In your assessment, what would you say about, you know, how the president has navigated this process, how he has managed the issue of security in the country?
Someone said if something happened the first time, it is accidental. When it reoccurs, it becomes coincidence. When it repeats itself, it becomes usual. This has become recurrent issue. And it is time for Mr. President to be very stern and be very, very firm. You don't, because the bad effect of this reoccurrence of bomb blast is that it's labeling the government negatively. And you can't allow these terrorists to keep on, you know, painting the government badly. So it is time for Mr. President to be firm in his decision. Let me just borrow something a bit here from President Putin, who said it is God's prerogative to forgive you. It is my responsibility to send you to him. So I think it is time for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be firm now, to be firm, or else this terrorist will label him badly. And this is not only limited to Nigeria alone.
All right.
It become international issue now.
Perhaps we're getting to that point because, you know, only recently there was what you can call a redefinition of who a terrorist is. You know, everyone who is, wielding arms, every one who is a non-state actor, you know, but that is wielding arms. So it does appear as though the president is already looking ahead and, you know, working in line with some of these propositions that you are giving. For instance, Dr. Adebayo, what do you think?
I just think the security agencies need to be firm now. They need to start executing and implementing it fast. It seems these guys feel that they have a field day in Nigeria. They can just cause havoc and go like that. You can't run a leadership that way.
All right,
and I feel Mr. President is getting too soft about this. Like there are some big cabals behind this that he doesn't want to offend. And in leadership, a leader must be able to make a decision and stand by it. If you don't stand by the decision, it is the same people that will also label him wrongly.
I hear you, Dr. Adebayo. Let's now move on to some other matters. Today is Christmas, and of course, there are messages pouring in from different ends. You have the president calling on Nigerians to embrace peace, unity, and religious tolerance. And if I must mention, this has been a recurring theme in most of the messages we're getting, you know, about peace. You know, so I'm thinking, what are your thoughts about this message? And then how do you think that Nigerians can actually support this administration in entrenching peace in the country?
Now, for Nigeria to, synchronize with the expectation of the president and embrace peace, number one, the government must ensure that the life of every Nigerian is valuable to them. And if you permit me, I can elucidate on this. Now, why people are dying insecurity in the country, the government should also empathize and sympathize with every Nigerian, not just only after implementing their own agenda. You know, for instance, people, the neighboring country are calling for support on this insecurity, while the government is rejecting it. But recently, the government want to team up with Macron in France, you know, to be collecting tax from people. Anyone who can use his common sense, we feel that the government really care more about what they are gaining than the life of people, which is very wrong.
Dr.
So
Adebayo,
while we are preaching peace, while we are preaching peace to people, Jesus brought peace. Also, the government also should value the life of people.
It's a good way
to
leave the conversation, Dr. Adebayo. We don't have a lot of time. I most sincerely appreciate you for sharing your thoughts with us on the program today. Thanks a lot, Dr. Samuel Adebayo, a leadership coach. And taking the conversation back to Dr. Yusuf Harun. Still talking Christmas, you know, Reverend Matthew Kuka, in his Christmas message, you know, earlier said that Nigeria cannot outsource solution to its challenges, but rather be united in confronting the challenges, and it should be without discriminating on whatever basis. You know, how do you think that we as a people can embrace this wholeheartedly and make it like a national mantra? It is personal to every single individual.
There are three main things we have to look into. Yes. The first one is transparency. There must be a good transparency between the government and the citizens. The second one is that we have to strengthen justice and the rule of law. We must make sure that everybody is subjected to the rule of law. Nobody is above it. The people who are causing crisis in our country, believe me, some people know them. They are not ghosts. They are not invisible. But they seem or appear to be untouchable. We even have to be careful, and I want to advise the president personally, it's not everybody that is coming or defecting to his political party means well for him. Some of them are hypocrites. Some of them are just trying to destroy the country and the politics from within. And the top thing I have to look at is to promote an inclusive government. What I mean is that everybody from different faiths, either you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are even an idol worshiper, or you don't even believe in God, or you are a traditional, you should what? You should be included in this government. Secondly is tribe. Every tribe should be included.
Well, that is one message, Dr. Harun. It's actually one message that was very pronounced in the president's Christmas goodwill message today, where he spoke about religious peace and tolerance, the fact that people should, embrace one another and allow faith to thrive in the country. Dr. Harun.
I support exactly what the president said, and I support him 100%. I am in full support of President Bola Ahmed Ashwaju Tinubu. I'm optimistic about him, and I believe he will succeed. I believe in the speech he said, and I believe that what he did in Lagos State almost 29 or 25 years ago is going to replicate it in Nigeria and do better. But
just
some
before
people
you
are
go,
trying to pull him down.
Yeah, some people are trying to pull him down. Yeah, just before we go, I wanted to speak about, the level of trust among the people for the security operative. Do you think we've gotten to that point where people are free to actually share intelligence with the military authorities? Now, how do you think we can correct it if that's not the case?
I'll be honest with you, we haven't gotten to that stage yet. Because if I have an intelligence, I am not sure even if the DSS or the NSA or the police or the military I'm sharing this information with is colliding or colluding with these terrorists. We have seen some military officials who are even selling arms to the bandits. We've seen it. It's on national, even TVC covered it. So we have not gotten to a stage where we don't know who to even report to when we see crises like this. So I believe that we still have a lot to do, and I'm optimistic that President Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to get rid of the bad seeds in the government, especially in the military and the police, and we're going to have a well-structured system, as we had in Lagos. Lagos was also one of the most chaotic states in Nigeria, if people didn't know Tinubu, but now it is peaceful relatively.
All right, Dr.
And one of the
Harun.
most beautiful states in Nigeria. I believe Nigeria will also be great.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf Harun. Thank you so much for talking to us and sharing your thoughts with us on the program today. Well, that is our program today. We thank you very much for watching. A repeat broadcast airs at midnight and at 6 a.m. I am Abosede Adeniyi Aderemi.